name's Amber, and today I'm going to teach you how to make Parmesan encrusted chicken topped with a white wine Dijon dill sauce. Alright, these are the ingredients you're going to need for the Parmesan chicken. We have our chicken breasts, they're chicken cutlets, they're cut smaller so they're easier to cook with. We have our Parmesan cheese here, breadcrumbs, flour, and our eggs for the egg wash. Also salt and pepper for taste. These are the ingredients you're going to use for the white wine Dijon dill sauce. You have your white wine, it's going to be a dry white wine such as Sauvignon Blanc, fresh dill, minced shallots, your chicken broth, 3 tablespoons of butter, and your Dijon mustard. First we're going to bread our chicken. So we have our chicken ready. I've already salted and peppered the flour. The eggs have been whisked, and I've combined the breadcrumbs and the Parmesan cheese and mixed them together evenly, a nice even mix. So I have everything in order of how you're going to want to do it. So first we're going to dip our chicken in the flour and salt and pepper mix. And we're going to move it over to the egg wash. Get it on both sides. And then move it over to the breadcrumbs and the Parmesan. Get it nice and covered. And then move it to your plate. And then repeat. Make sure it's nice and covered so you can get all that bread and Parmesan stuck to it. Get a nice spreading. And then you're going to do this with all your chicken, and then you'll have your breaded chicken ready. So now that we have our chicken breaded, we're going to heat up some olive oil. I'm using a medium-sized pan because that's the size that works for the recipe I'm using. If you have more chicken, obviously do a bigger pan and vice versa. So for this medium-sized pan, I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of olive oil. But that's just a guideline. Ultimately, you just want to make sure your pan is completely covered. And then you're going to heat that on medium and let that warm up. Once your oil is hot, you're going to put your chicken in. You're going to want to start from the front to the back, and the reason for that is because it avoids splattering. Just line your chicken. All along the pan. We're going to let this cook for 5 minutes. You don't want to flip your chicken over more than once because it makes the meat tough. So just let it cook for 5 minutes, and then we're going to flip it one more time and let it cook a little longer after that. So while this is cooking, we have our side dishes. We chose to do asparagus with some garlic and butter heating up in the water here, and also some penne pasta. Alright, so I said 5 minutes, and that's just a good guideline, but you always want to check. So these are ready to turn over. It's been about 5 minutes. We're going to flip them in order of... Alright, so I said 5 minutes, and that's just a good guideline, but you always want to check. So these are ready to turn over. It's been about 5 minutes. We're going to flip them in order. To be safe when you're eating chicken, you don't want to get sick. You want to make sure it's cooked all the way. So taking a piece off to test it, and looks like we're good to go. So let's get the rest of them off of there. Once we take this out, we'll be ready to make our sauce, which we're actually going to use the remnants that's left from cooking the chicken. It adds flavor. Alright, now we're going to start on our sauce. So we're going to add our shallots. We're going to let these shallots cook for about a minute. Alright, after we let the shallots cook a little bit, we're going to add 3/4 a cup of chicken broth. You're going to want to keep your heat on low And then we're gonna add, same thing, 3/4 a cup of white wine. We're gonna let this cook for about 5 to 6 minutes. Now that we have these 3 ingredients in our pan, we're just gonna stir it around, and it's deglazing the pan, which basically means all the remnants from the chicken, it's getting it off the bottom of the pan and getting it marinating inside the sauce. So we're gonna take our 3 tablespoons of butter, drop that in. Next, we will take our Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons. And then our dill, which is also 2 tablespoons. So the math is pretty easy here. And we're gonna whisk everything together until your sauce thickens up. Tastes just right. So we're gonna go ahead and put it on our chicken. Alright, so let's check it out. See how everything turned out. Tastes great.